So we're on countdown, 24 hours to go until the White House summit, but there are some very interesting news stories coming out and more importantly, some pro cryptocurrency adoption that, well, people simply aren't talking about. Guess what? I've got it all for you in this video. We're going to break down some key things that have been announced today, which is absolutely bullish for this bull run and the longevity of the cryptocurrency markets. So make sure you hit that like button and you subscribe to the channel. We're here every day bringing you all the latest in cryptocurrency. With that being said, let's get into this video. So we're going to start here. BlackRock, one of the big pillars of moving the market right now. Are they buying? Are they selling? Is their ETF product worth it or not? Now we'll take a look at the price action on the chart, but I did want to bring you to here. Bear in mind, we have a big moment in the cryptocurrency industry, a massive White House summit with many key leaders of the cryptocurrency ecosystem, all going to spend some time on a roundtable with Donald Trump. So what's interesting is where you start to see companies buying huge amounts of Bitcoin or agreeing certain things. And BlackRock, well, we know their finger is pretty much on the pulse and we know that they can move markets. Well, they have been buying and they've been buying big. 9 hours ago, you see this $9.1 million worth of Bitcoin. They were buying Ethereum only a couple of days ago, $22 million worth of Ethereum. Again, absolutely stacking their bags. And we've even seen USDC stacking the portfolio as well. So BlackRock right now are scooping up the dips. Also, what's important to reference, they're now buying again, as are Fidelity. We've seen some pretty interesting moves over the course of the last week. You take a look at this, for example, in the last 7 days, 5,500 Bitcoin out of their ETF coincides quite, pretty well with the decline of the market. All of a sudden, they're now buying Bitcoin and their ETF product is buying more. Very, very interesting as this plays out. So watch out. There could be some even more purchasing going on over the course of the next 24 hours as we run into that White House summit. Definitely worth thinking about. We do actually have an updated list that I wanted to share with you guys. Eleanor Terra here. She was actually confirmed by David Sachs as probably the person to go to, has the most up-to-date list, whether that's something that he's been sending. But you can see some key players in there and some that I guess we weren't even thinking about. People like the CEO of BitGo, Brad Garlinghouse, we know is going to be there, as well as many, many others from people like Chris Marszalek going to be there. One of the interesting ones, Charles Hodgkinson not there. That's kind of an interesting one. But Brian Armstrong, Michael Saylor. We've got many, many people, including the Winklevoss twins apparently are going as well. So there is expected to be even more. The ones that I think are very interesting, Bitcoin Magazine going to be there. Will There Be Finance? Zach Witkoff going to be there. And, people like Sergey Navarov from Chainlink. These are all key players in the space. And I think this is going to be a very interesting, including, by the way, Mara Holdings CEO as well, which obviously is a huge mining company and has been growing their mining operations in the US. So this one definitely worthwhile. Keep an eye on it. Now, there has been some very bullish news. The White House plans to address a strategic crypto reserve funding and congressional approval. So this thing is definitely starting to grow legs. And I think it's really interesting that so many people have called the end of the market. So many people were done. You now look at this, you think, wow, we are nowhere near the top, in my opinion, by the way. So this is going to be definitely discussed on how do we fund a strategic reserve. Now, I was talking about this on my live stream. What would be the most bullish outcome for this reserve? How do they fund it? Well, something like a percentage of GDP going to this reserve could be huge. It absolutely shows a bull case short term, and it's very bullish long term. And I think something like that would be very interesting how it plays out. Whether they do something around taxation and then they can maybe offset taxes in the future as Bitcoin, moves up in price. I think there's loads of things to talk about, all of which I believe will be very beneficial to the US people. We saw that in Bhutan and how much that's having a really positive effect over there as well. So definitely an interesting one. I'm very curious to see how this comes out. And you think about some of the people that are there, they absolutely will get to a very, in my opinion, historic moment. And I think will start the catalyst for much, much more in terms of adoption of reserves. Now, there is even further news going on. And Dan Patrick here, Dan Patrick, the Texas Lieutenant Governor, says Bitcoin's limited supply and decentralized nature makes it a critical asset for Texas's future. This is important. And Texas today, by the way, have announced that they will have a strategic reserve that is going to the Senate. It's probably the first one we've got that, as it says here, Governor Dan Patrick's statement to the bipartisan passage of Senate Bill 21, establishing the Texas Bitcoin Reserve. And again, this could be incredibly bullish. And it is one of those things that if you get in early, you get there first, you will absolutely win. And I think this is a very strategic and critical moment that you've got. So not only have you got the actual president and a cabinet that are going to discuss this, You've got states that are already well on the way, and I think we're up to about 37 states that are all looking to it. Yes, we've seen people like Russia say they're not going to do it, and yes, we've seen a couple of states say they're not going to do it. We have seen Brazil announce that they will be doing a strategic reserve. So the list is endless. And when you get into all of this, the reality is that when you've got people like US building a strategic reserve, and you've got people like Brazil, Bhutan, and all these countries that are doing it, you're going to get China, you're going to get hopefully some of the European Union communities, and equally some of the UK and, you know, other kind of non-affiliated countries with the EU, which will be super bullish as well. So we can't wait for that. Now, what's also interesting today is the price of Bitcoin has been super wild. We actually wicked all the way down to 88,000. We did wick up, retest the 100-day exponential moving average. Didn't break it at around 92.8. Do think that is an important level for us to break. The question, though, is what is coming tomorrow? That's going to be the key bit. Do we see a pump? Do we see a dump? I think we're going to see maximum volatility, and I think there's a couple of things. If there is a definitive answer to the strategic reserve, i.e., from X date, we are going to start to put GDP, or we're going to start to put US dollars into this reserve by buying Bitcoin or buying any of those altcoins, get ready. We're going to see a massive run. I actually think we could even retest some of these key levels, maybe even getting up to the 96, 97 bull case at 100,000, but it will be very specific as to how they do. A nothing burger, we might be in for a bit of pain tomorrow. So let me know what you guys think of all of this in the comments down below. I'm excited about it. 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time till 1:30 till 5 o'clock. We'll actually be streaming some of that live on my show. So definitely hit the subscribe button, turn your notification bell on. You will be notified when we go live to cover this live as it happens. So I'm excited about it. We'll see what happens. Let me know as always in the comments down below. And thank you so much for watching, everybody. Appreciate the subscribers. We just broke 34,000. So thank you so much, everybody. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.